The Lands and Natural Resources Minister has directed gold dealership firm Akunta Mining Limited to stop operations in the Tano forest. The directive is coming actually in the wake of a JoyNews expose titled "Distraction for Gold." Well, you recall that the Lands and Natural Resources Ministry made a declaration that no license has been issued for mineral prospecting in any forest reserve across the area and even in the country as well. But Luv News has uncovered an ongoing degradation in the Tano Reserve, which is particularly happening around Samraboy in the western region. Luv News has seen large portions of the reserve, also estimated at about 12 football fields. They have already been destroyed by mining linked to the Akunta Mining Limited. The expose on the current destruction of the Tano and forest reserves in the area forms actually part of a documentary that was carried out by Erastus Asare Donko. Here are excerpts of Distraction for Gold.
On August 17th this year, the Minerals Commission in a press release stated that the Lands Minister has not issued any license for minerals prospecting in any forest reserve. The release, signed by Chief Executive Officer of the Commission, Martin Aisi, referred to a letter by Akunta Mining Limited dated August 8, 2022, which was an application for an entry permit to enter the Tano Nimre Forest Reserve at Samraboy in the western region. The release said the application must be processed, quote, subject to the Honorable Minister of Lands and Natural Resources Directive on Mining in Forest Reserve. But even before the Lands Ministry would indicate publicly its position on the application, our checks indicate active mining in the Tano Nimre Forest Reserve. A visit to the forest revealed large portions of the reserve already mined and degraded. This drone footage taken few days ago shows active mining linked to Akunta Mining Limited under the protection of armed personnel. The forest reserve is being destroyed with impunity even at the time of airing this report.
We are here at this thing, Tontokrom. They hold duties and there are some policemen and media be here.
Despite Luv News' expose on military personnel protecting miners in the Odaho section of the Apamprama Forest Reserve, security personnel are still providing protection for miners who are pillaging the reserve currently, as corroborated by the Mentiahene of Bekwai, Nanakusi Frimpong Kotobre.
My district is Amanse Central. That is where I have my cocoa farm. In that area, there's a forest called Kobo Forest. The forest is guarded by soldiers as people mine inside the forest. I had a confrontation with the soldiers. They said they are on duty. What kind of duty is being held in the forest? Ministers and people in government are the ones protecting them. Because I can't hire military men, if I could, I would ask them to accompany me to the farm to weed.
Also, excerpts of Distraction for Gold there, giving you a picture of what's happening with the Tano Reserve. Fortunately, Erastus Asare Donko has found that full expose, I call it, is joining us in studio. Erastus, it's a good time to be talking to you, knowing that there's a directive coming through from the Lands and Natural Resources Ministry. We'll get into the details of that. But of course, what's underpinning this report, I believe, was that clear instruction or announcement that was given by the ministry earlier that they had totally placed a ban on mining along the water reserves, right?
It has been described as red zone.
Red zones, right. In that instruction that came and was signed by the Lands and Natural Resources Minister. Yeah. So when you went into the area, what did you discover?
In fact, this is a forest that holds valuable trees that has served the only company in that part of Ghana, that's Samatex, as a timber logging company. It served the company for the local community for about 40 years, over 40 years. And so any action that seeks to degrade the forest not only destroys the environment, but also destroys the local economy as well. Then people will not be getting jobs if that company should collapse. They are only cutting trees and processing them, and that's how come the locals also get jobs.
Okay.
But the mining in there is destroying the entire forest cover, creating gullies and other things in there.
Right.
Now, if you read the Mining Act, Section 99(2)
Right.
E of Act 703,
Okay.
it says a person who, without a license granted by the minister, undertakes a mining operation contrary to provision of this act commits an offence and is liable on a summary conviction to a fine of not less than 10,000 penalty units and not more than 15,000 penalty units, or a term of imprisonment of not less than 15 years. So, per the release that is coming from the Ministry of Lands, it admits that Akonta Mining has flouted these regulations, and that is liable to this punishment. So, I am expecting that we go beyond just asking the Forestry Commission to remove the permit or to take them out of the forest. I was expecting that by now we have security agencies, Operation Halt, or the police getting into the forest, arresting whoever is in there and making them face the full rigors of the law.
And in fact, we're getting reports about who may be behind this very company that we're talking about. We'll get into the details, but it's a good time to also bring on the screens now excerpts of that instruction we're receiving from the Lands and Natural Resources Ministry, giving us a clear sense of that directive to the Akonta mining firm. So you would have excerpts on your screens right now indicating clearly what it is that the Ministry for Lands and Natural Resources has decided to do with regard to that expose. So you have excerpts there indicating that the attention of the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources has been drawn to publications about certain operations by the Akonta Mining Limited in the Tano Forest Reserve in the Amenfi West Municipality of the Western Region. Now, records available to the ministry shows that while the mining firm has a mining lease to undertake mining operations in some parts of Samaraboy outside the forest reserve, the company has no mineral right to undertake any mining operation in the forest reserve. That's what you're referring to, right, Erastus? And then the statement continues to indicate that our records show that Akonta Mining Limited on the 25th of August 2022 applied for a mining lease to undertake mining operations in the said forest reserve. By a ministerial directive, all prospective and exploratory activities in the forest reserve in the country are suspended except in exceptional circumstances, although this directive does not affect mining in the forest reserves, which the Akonta mining is applicable to. Now, accordingly, any alleged activity being undertaken by the company in the forest reserve is illegal. So the statement makes it clear, and it continues to talk about some more activities that may happen in the coming days. So, Erastus, that's, of course, backing the point that you're making, that if you look at the requirements of the law, criminal prosecution could come in at this point.
It should come in. Not just could come in, it should come in. Because then other people flouted the law. Some of them have their excavators bent, though there's an argument over whether that is legal or not, but they had the excavators bent. We went in boldly with Operation Halt. So why is this one an exception? Why is the minister or the government not interested in court? Because I'm expecting that if you are interested and there's fire on the mountain, by now we should be seeing action in that forest. We should be finding out who is in that forest. We should be arresting people. We should be engaging, bringing them to book. We should be getting these equipment in the forest out of that forest. Yesterday, when I felt the minister should be in that forest, taking that action, he was in Ashanti region in areas where mining were going on. And then later in the afternoon, there was a clash between the youth and task force of Akonta.
So you feel that may have necessitated this response from the ministry?
Well, I think that our expose and giving evidence, glaring
of what's clearly happening in the area,
clearly what is happening in the Tano Nimre Forest Reserve, when indeed Akunta Mining has said, no, we are not doing anything there. There was a release by the Minerals Commission to the effect that they've not granted any permit. Akunta Mining has submitted an application indicating it wants a permit to enter the forest. It has not been granted yet. We wanted to show government that indeed, once you even think of granting that permit, they are already there. And about 12 football fields of that part of the forest has already been
terrible distraction
degraded.
going on there. There are more questions even about the identities we are uncovering this afternoon about some of the individuals who may be behind the company itself.
So the company Akunta Mining is no open secret. It belongs to Bernard Nchubo-Siakun, who is the regional chairman of the MPP. And in the documentary, as we aired on Monday, you will be seeing more environmental infractions by this same company on the Tano River, to be specific. And so on Monday, when we aired the first part of the documentary, you'll be seeing more infractions. So it gives a sense of maybe flouting the laws with impunity. Why is one individual seemingly untouchable and that people are afraid to go in when that name particularly is mentioned? But when it comes to other mining areas, illegal mining areas, then we see an active involvement of task force, military and other things going in there, banning equipment, arresting people. I think the law is no respecter of persons, and we should attach the same importance to what is happening in there.
Erastus, thank you. In fact, there's a long conversation we're going to have because elsewhere in the eastern region as well, we're receiving more reports. For instance, this afternoon as well, the Chebi Divisional Police Command, together with the Ochiman Environmental Task Force, as we're learning in a joint operation, have arrested 24 illegal miners at one of the areas along the Etiwa East district. So that's part of the forest reserve as we're learning of. But let's get more from Maxwell Kudako, who's joining us via Zoom to give us an update. We showed you footages earlier of that exchange. In fact, exchange of firearms between, those who were members of the task force and allegedly the illegal miners. So Maxwell, give us some clarity to what we're learning of in the eastern region. Exactly what's happening now?
Well, we are told that 3 days ago, the chief of Asamantam for Osaberima Kwame Kon filed a complaint to the Achimboka Traditional Council involving some activities of illegal mining that is happening within the enclave, and sought the support of the security agencies and then the Ochihini to stop the menace. And you know, there is a mining and environmental task force that is set up by the Ochihini to protect the environment within the Achimba-Buakwa enclave. So the Ochihini, I'm told, directed that the task force get in touch with the security agencies to go and assess the situation at Asamantam and effect arrest if indeed there is illegal mining. So we are told the environmental task force went in with the Chebi Divisional Police Command with their men to Asamantam. But before they got to the mining site, we are told that the miners have had information that the police and the task force were coming. So they managed to take a vital part of one of the excavators and absconded. But unfortunately, they left one. So the task force was able to dismantle one of the excavators and then put it on a loader. They effected arrest of about 24 people. So whilst they were leaving the mining site to the Asamantam town, the miner had gone to mobilize men, and then they met them by the roadside and insisted that they take the excavator back to site. Other than that, there will be bloodshed. So we are told the police commander, together with the chief, wanted to calm them down, and then they told them that if they really have documents to support that they are legally mining in the area. We are told that they were even washing closer to a river around Asamantam. They were causing devastation to the river and the environment. So they insisted that if they have any document to prove that indeed they are mining legally, they should submit. They should come to the Chebi Divisional Police Command and they show proof of documentation. But the gentleman declined. So while the conversation was going back and forth, the guy has mobilized some thugs within the enclave. So they started pelting stone at them. And then the leader of the task force, that is Apejahene, Osaberima Okojiaman Apejafori, we are told got hit by one of the stone. So the men also opened fire at them, and then finally they were able to clear the road and then left the scene with the 24 people arrested and then the excavator.
So for now, what updates are we getting from the police service in the area?
Well, the police is quite tight with information, but I can reliably inform our listeners that there's currently a crunch meeting going on at the Eastern Regional Police Command over the issue. That the divisional commander and the regional police, the CID, and other stakeholders are seriously looking into the matter. We are told that some of them who were arrested were not necessarily minors. Some had gone to farms, they were returning. Others says that there were surveyors who were doing survey work. So they are still screening the people to ascertain the number of them who were really engaged in the illegal mining. But I had a chit chat with the leader of the Environmental Protection Task Force, or Saberma Okojiman Apejafori. He tells me that from what happened yesterday, he's very much convinced that the district chief executive of the Etiwa East District is kind of compromised in this whole situation. So he is calling that the government should really look into this matter and then ensure that any government appointee who has any connection to do with all of these illegal activities going on within the enclave is brought to book. So the matter, the issue is now developed. We're going to follow it to the letter and then find out who actually are involved in this activity, and then also see what the security or law enforcement agency will come out from this investigation.
Well, Kudako, thank you for providing us with some updates. Let me, of course, at this point, bring in now two individuals who will help us do this discussion. First off, Dr. Ken Ashigbe is former convener for the Media Coalition Against Galamsey, joining us via Zoom. Also, there's Daryl Bosu, who's Deputy Director at Rocha Ghana. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time. Suspects in police custody in connection with the Mankazim murder have confessed to killing two more people. This brings to 3 the number of people the suspects have allegedly killed so far. The Ghana Police Service says it has retrieved 2 bodies of the 3 victims. So let's share further details contained in that statement released by the police service a couple of hours ago on the latest regarding this murder case. And the first point we're getting there is that police ongoing investigation into the case has established, first of all, that 2 suspects, which is Michael Dako, we also have Christopher Echo Clark. These 2 individuals have murdered 1 other person, bringing to 2 the number of people actually confirmed to have been gruesomely murdered by these suspects. Now, the second point is that the second murdered victim actually, Gloria Yeboah, a petty trader from Obokrom and Kumasi, was reported missing sometime in June 2022 when she left home in her quest to travel abroad. There's an indication that the suspect actually lured the deceased to Accra on June 17, 2022 and took her to Mankasim under the pretext of preparing her to travel to Holland. However, she was later killed by these suspects. Point 4 is pointing out that the body of the deceased has been found and police have been able to locate her family, who have identified her as Gloria Yeboah. Police are currently providing the necessary support to the family in these difficult times. But beyond that, the Ghana Police Service is indicating that they are following a lead on a possible 3rd victim who might have been murdered again by these suspects. Investigations so far point to the fact that the suspects are involved in a ritual, that's a series of killings, which definitely is pointing to ritual murders. They lure victims, sometimes under the pretext of helping them to travel abroad and then kill them. So the police service is therefore urging any member of the public to assist with the information with these numbers you see on the screens and to actually assist in investigations. And there's that indication to the public to take note that this is the number you have on your screens. It's just provided to actually open up the space and to allow more and more people to report cases. Meanwhile, a non-profit organization, Crime Check Foundation, is commenting on these incidents and other crime cases recorded in recent times. The group says that recidivism is actually to blame for the surge in criminal cases across the country, and that persons who are returning from jail would have to be properly reintegrated into society. Ibrahim Opong is Executive Director for Crime Check Foundation, and he's been providing more light on this.
I would say it's good news, at least for them to have realized that there is an upsurge, in crime across the country. It's been worrying, and we believe that the police, much as it is commendable that they proactively ensure that we nip some of these unfortunate incidents in the bud, they have to be proactive. They have to be proactive. Other than that, we are all not safe. And I think we can look at this from several fronts. We at Crime Check Foundation has realized that there are lots of, before we narrow in on the spate of ritual killings, there isn't any evidence to suggest that, for instance, some ex-convicts are a part of these unfortunate incidents. But we know that in the past, most of these crimes have been linked to some ex-convicts in the country. There is an increase in the ex-convict population across the country, and it's something that the police must take seriously. There is a total disconnect between when prisoners exit the prisons and then what they go out to do. I'm not sure government has a data of ex-convicts in the country. And then there is no proper reintegration models or programs for some of these ex-convicts to be able to integrate successfully economically into society. That is why we have a lot of recidivists. Most of these people are spearheading dangerous, committing dangerous crimes in the country. So I think it is important that the social welfare is empowered, because once these ex-convicts exit the prison, it is not the responsibility of the prison's administration to narrow in on what they do. It is the responsibility of social welfare. But you and I know that social welfare is facing lots of constraints. You visit their offices and there aren't chairs to even sit on. So it's important that government gets something, some reintegration programs for them to do. Other than that, then we say that devil finds work for idle hands. These people will be used, for some of these crimes. Now, it is also important to also know that the ECOWAS protocol on free movement of goods and persons is also, much as it is commendable, because it shows, reintegration, it ensures reintegration of our economies and so on and so forth. It is creating lots of problems in this country, because it has led to a situation where there are lots of foreigners in Ghana. Some of them are not being aware, of the names that usually, pop up. And it is worrying. Most of these people who spearhead some of these dastardly acts are migrants, irregular migrants. So it's important that the Ghana Immigration Service also steps up its work and ensure that some of these people who have outlived, who have overstayed, for want of a better word, are checked, and so that we ensure that we nip some of their activities in the bud. It is also important that police visibility is sustained.
Yes. Well, time now to talk about the SIM card re-registration exercise. Today is the final deadline. For those of you who may not be aware, September 30 is that deadline, and hundreds of Ghanaians have thronged registration centres across the country in some desperate attempt to avoid deactivation of their SIM cards. The National Communications Authority is stern. They would not give any additional extension of the registration deadline, but with millions of Ghanaians yet to receive their Ghana cards, the key document required for the registration process obviously depends on the Ghana card. So let's touch base with our correspondents, first of all, finding out what's been happening at some of the registration centres for you. We start off from the Greater Accra region. Michael Ashele is our man on the grounds, and here's what he's found out.
Of them on what the expectations are. Will they be able to make it, forgetting that there's a longer queue when you get to the SIM card registration centres? Bossman, how long have you been here?
An hour ago.
An hour ago.
Have you moved at all?
No.
You haven't moved?
Yeah.
But have you registered your SIM card?
Yeah.
You have. How are you able to do that? You are here to collect your Ghana card.
Yes.
So how are you able to register your SIM card?
I didn't do it here, but I came to escort my friend.
Oh, okay. You came to escort your friend. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, so let me speak to some people. Bossman, how long have you been here?
This is my fifth time.
Can you turn and face the camera for me? How long?
Today is my fifth time. Now I was here.
Why this is you like coming to the OWAC?
Come again.
I'm asking you, is it that you enjoy coming to the OWAC while you are here for the fifth time?
No.
Why are you here 5 times?
I'm here. Today is my fifth time because of my Ghana card.
What's happening to it?
Now I came, they told me I should come, so July come, I came today my last day I came. I don't know what is going to happen to me today. So today, if I didn't get it today, I think they will send me to military barrack.
Why? All this time you come, what did they tell you?
I should go and come. I should go 2 weeks. Fifth time today.
My name is Reverend Joshua.
Reverend, why are you here?
I'm here for the card. I've done it last 3 months, and I've been here several times. But anytime I come, they postpone it that the card is not ready yet. And today also I'm here.
So when was the last time you came here?
I came here last month. Yeah, last month.
They told you to come today?
Yes, they say it's not ready, so I should come today, and I'm here. I'm still here. Since morning I came here even before 5 o'clock, and I'm still here.
And you are just in front of the queue. How long will it take you to get to with the attendants?
They are calling names, probably. I don't even know, but maybe any time from now, maybe I will be called.
I see. Yeah. But I see that earlier you were telling me you are not happy about the process. So what's your grievances?
Honestly, in fact, the whole process, I'm not happy at all. Because how can somebody who pick up, as I'm talking to you, I'm from Ningo Pram Pram, and I'll pick up from there to this place. I'll leave all my church activities. To that I'm talking to you, I have a program to attend. You see the way I'm dressed from here to the program straight, because I don't know the time I'll even finish what I'm doing. So it's a whole lot. You pick car, you come here, they say it's not ready, you come and spend your whole day here without doing anything. And Ghana here, when you miss a work just a day, they will deduct you from your salary. We are all working. So if you can leave your work and you come here the whole day, come and spend the whole day here, then you are losing. And when you came here also, there are things that are going on. People will just be passing by. You'll just be sitting down. They will call somebody that you think the person come and meet you here. And you don't understand the whole issue.
Have you registered your SIM card though?
Not yet. Yeah, the Ghana card is not ready. How can I register my SIM card?
But they are going to block you regardless. 5 p.m. I want to believe that when the talk was closed, that's the end.
That is why today I'm here. So that probably if maybe before that time I was able to get my Ghana card, I can rush to the MTN center to go and register my SIM.
Say you don't get it, what's going to be your next line of action?
I don't really know. That is what we are saying, that this whole thing that they are doing is something that is frustrating.
Ashanti Region Emmanuel Bright Kweku has been monitoring the situation for us.
Today marks the deadline for the SIM card re-registration exercise across the nation. And here in the Ashanti region, I am currently at the Susanso MTN branch, where, as you can see, there are lots of people who are hoping to have their SIM cards re-registered. We've been interacting with some of them, and here is what they've been telling us. I have a man with me here. He's going to share with us his ordeal. So, Daddy, tell me now about Hasi. Now, oh, by then or Maka. The card I was using was for my mother, so I had to buy a new one. I've been here for almost an hour to register the new one.
At the same time, my tough my able money be almost even some brand register. Be almost 1 hour. The father no so many years, so na na to be got proud don't win him man. To be here, imagine my said. They try up to 1 hour, no more a year, no full car, that's problem.
But so when to end the deadline, when to register, then I'll be.
And said, the other one is a major man.
But I don't probably 7 o'clock. I bet now, sir, my Ghana card.
I came here around 7 a.m. They took my Ghana card. I came here around 7 a.m. They took my Ghana card and I've since not returned it. I want to even go to work. I'll buy a new SIM card if I am unable to register.
I'm registered. I'm not going to make the natural. I have before 5:30 because of Minya Kwaya Kojimate. My transfer service up to now service.
I came here before 5:30 a.m. I've been here since morning, but they say the service has jammed. I'll buy a new card if I am unable to register.
Also network
I have already registered, but they told me the card wasn't linked to my SIM card. That is why I am here.
They are coming a phrase saying, Metron land, a company land. But the Ghana card, any business certificate. I'm going to have a Ghana card. Still, I already obviously I didn't have the reason why
So most of these telecommunication subscribers are hoping that the network will be restored so they have their SIM cards registered before today ends. From here at Susanso, my name is Emmanuel.
Also, that's the situation in the Ashanti region. Let's bring in also Kwame Griffiths, former Executive Secretary for the National Identification Authority, Director of IT for the NDC as well. Thank you, sir, for your time. So the deadline is still on. We're not clear if indeed another grace period will come through. But the Ghana card remains a big challenge. So for many Ghanaians, they may miss out on that opportunity of registering. If you had the opportunity to speak to the sector minister and the authorities that matter in this case, what would that message be? And kindly unmute for me so I can get the point, sir. Can you hear me, sir? Kindly unmute for me so I can get the points that you're making. Well, I will definitely try as much as possible to rework the lines to say Kwame Griffiths, who happens to be a former executive for the National Identification Authority. And as we do know, lots and lots of people there at the Elwak Sports Stadium where the queues are still long. So we do not know if the numbers out there will be able to make it today to the various MNOs to try as much as possible to get their registration done. Of course, we're also waiting on that directive from the National Communications Authority as to what the way forward could be. And once we get that indication, we'll be able to know what will happen by tomorrow. But as of last night, the National Communications Authority had indicated to us clearly that they had received no other directive apart from what's pre-existing, which has got to do with the disconnection or deactivation of the cards, if you want to call it as such. And that's what we're waiting on to see if there'll be a counter directive on that matter. We're still awaiting any further directives on this matter. Let's see if we have a better line to Jose Kwame Griffiths now. Well, we'll definitely have more on this for you. You're still watching The Pulse on the JoyNews channel. We'll get back with Jose Kwame Griffiths. Please stay. Back. Jose Kwame Griffiths is former Executive Secretary of the National Identification Authority. Is joining us now in the wake of that imminent deactivation that awaits some 2 million Ghanaians, first of all, who are not able to pick up their Ghana cards to complete the registration process, and there are other persons waiting in the queue at LWAC and across the country just to get their Ghana cards to do their registration. Mr. Griffiths, thank you for your time here on The Pulse. What's your appeal to the authorities?
Well, I think that, first of all, this is a no-brainer, because just on the 16th of this month, the NIA came out to indicate that they are unable to meet or assist Ghanaians get their cards before the deadline, which is today, actually. And then also, if you look at the performance of the SIM card registration so far, it took us 10 months to register 38%. So the minister, at the point where she said that, by today, all the remaining SIM cards that have not been registered would, suffer some services that will be held, from those SIM cards. Should have known that it would take more than just this short period to register the 62% of SIM cards that are left. So therefore, I knew that, I'm hopeful that they are going to act in the interest of the people of this country. Because even if you look at the figures from NIA has almost 20 million registrable population. What they have registered does not matter. It is those who have issued cards to. And they've issued cards to about 15.7, thereabout, million Ghanaians. So if you look at registrable and, those they have issued cards to, there's almost about 4 million. So when you go by NIA's, figures they threw out there, we have about over 2 million people not registered, a little over 2 million people not registered. Don't look at that one, because if you register the person and you have not issued the card to him, that person cannot use the card to register for his SIM card. So the figure that is important in this case is card issuance versus registrable population. And if you look at that, there's a gap of about 4 million. So there are 4 million Ghanaians, through no fault of theirs, don't have the required identity document that is being mandated for the SIM card registration. And I think it is unfortunate that we have people, in such high offices who would, ignore all these facts and common sense and act in this way. Now, let me also point out that it may take a bit of time for NIA to reach the remaining people who are to be registered. Who are to be given cards. Why am I saying this? NIA, in any mass registration, goes to the polling station level twice. Sometimes they cluster a few polling stations. At first, to register, come to the central location to duplicate and print cards and go back to distribute. Now, NIA indicated that this time they are doing instant issuance of cards. So they budgeted once to go to the polling station level so that they can print and distribute right on the spot. But we all know that instant issuance did not work. So therefore, a lot of cards are left in the hands of the authority. And let me indicate that NIA has no plans nor budget to go back to the electoral area level. And so some of these cards that are printed are sitting at the district capitals on tables, waiting for people who don't even know their cards are at the district capitals to come and pick them. So there's a problem, So I think that we have gotten some credible data with this SIM card registration. Let's not try to dilute it, by enforcing, laws that are impossible to enforce because the cards that are required and supposed to be used for these registration as breeder documents are not in the hands of Ghanaians. So I think that the ministry should be guided by this.
And let's be honest about this. Should there ever be a deadline to the SIM card re-registration process? Because, all the arguments appear to ask for some grace period, but how far can we go?
Well, at some point, yes, there can be a deadline for the SIM card registration. But it's definitely not at a point where you and I know very clearly that you have about 4 million people who don't have the cards that that is required for SIM cards to be registered. It's definitely not at this point. So at some point, yes, when we have finished issuing cards to all Ghanaians, and I want to draw your attention to the LI that is really being relied upon for this mandatory use of national ID card. It's LI 2111. And it states very clearly in Regulation 7, it says mandatory use of Ghana card, and it says that the NIA card issued to the individual. There's a reason why it was, the framers of the law, worded it that way, that it must be first issued to the individual before you can mandate it for all these services, including SIM registration. So if you have not issued the card to the individual, you definitely cannot, force the person to go to a telco, registration point with a card he doesn't have, when that is the card that is required, by law to register. So this is a case where definitely some common sense should be applied, to ensure that, citizens don't go through some unnecessary stress. So I believe that I hope the authorities, would come out today and probably not even extend, but, give, or even if there's going to be some extension, it's going to be quite for some considerable period of time to afford NIA the opportunity and time to actually, take their time to issue cards to all Ghanaians. Because the last time this happened was before the 2020 elections, and I'm glad the posture of NIA now is that they are not going to be rushed. When we said that we didn't have the cards on the ground, for it to be used as a sole document for registration to vote, NIA took a decision that technically was a problem by, distributing the cards without verification. I have never seen any credible biometric system in the world, engage in that activity. And that is the reason why you have a lot of people saying our cards are not working. And then they go try to register and they say the cards are not working. There are problems with the chip. And then they have to go back and get it activated at NIA.
The alternative the Communications Ministry gave was that there was going to be the self-registration app. But that is also not reducing the pressure on the system. So where do we go from here?
Well, I have my issues with the self-registration app, because I have never seen any registration of biometric that is done remotely, because you can fool the system. Very easy to do that. Therefore, during the capturing of biometric, it has to be inspected. Somebody has to be present to ensure that, the individual is actually, capturing his biometrics the way it should be. So I have an issue with this, the app. However, the app still requires the SIM card, so it doesn't change the conversation much. It even makes it worse, because I don't want to go into the technicalities of this, but the app also introduces a whole level of insecurity into the whole registration process. But I'm not going to go there now, because it still doesn't change the conversation that with the app, you still need your Ghana card. And I don't think the app can produce a Ghana card for you. It is the NIA that does that. So the app is not really helping in any way. It only would, make people who already have their Ghana card, probably take advantage of the app if it works well to get registered. But there still is that number of about 4.2 million people who do not have their cards.
Anyway, I'll take your final words on this.
Well, I think that, at this point, I think we should all come together and, maybe strongly indicate to the authorities that this is a clear abuse of power. I believe strongly it is, because I know the Minister for Communications very well. She's not dumb. She's a very smart lady, so she understands all these issues that we are talking about. But, the reason why she's still adamant and, unwilling to listen to wise counsel is beyond me. So,
anyway, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you, Osei Kwame Griffiths, for sharing your thoughts with us. Now, the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority is also this afternoon pointing out to inadequate personnel for its inability to fully patrol the many unapproved routes along Ghana's borders. The routes are actually sometimes used to smuggle rice, cooking oil, and some fuel products which are brought at a cheaper cost into the country through Ivory Coast and some other neighboring countries. JoyNews has been visiting Lubu, parts of the western region, and that's one of the terrains being used, especially in our latest findings on this matter. Well, Maxwell Akpogba has been finding out more as he joins the customs team to deal with this infiltration.
The man this place to ensure that the unscrupulous people do not get access to Ghana with some of their smuggled goods. To help me do this is Assistant Revenue Officer at the Ilubo Collection, ARO Fifi Blankson. Fifi, you're welcome to JoyNews.
Thank you very much.
Great. So these are your men. So we have immigration officers and then customs division,
Definitely.
The GRA.
Right.
What is their job here?
Well, their job here is to man these unapproved routes to ensure that people do not ferry goods in and out of the country.
Okay.
They are supposed to use the approved route, which is the main border.
Yeah.
And for one reason or the other, you realize that these people come in through some of these, and this is one of the numerous unapproved routes that we have along the stretch. And you see, because it is a river that divides the two countries, it is very easy to set up another unapproved route.
Yeah.
And so once we begin to man a particular route that we identify, the next thing you see is another one being created.
Wow.
Yes, that is the nature and that is the terrain we find ourselves here. There are several of them, and you see canoes being used to ferry goods and people across like that.
I was here alone last night. I was at the other side. But it was actually, very difficult using the side because it was extremely dark, poorly lit.
Yes.
And your personnel are supposed to be here. So they sit here all the time?
Yes.
Day, night,
we man this place 24 hours. Okay. As you can see, we even have some tent here. This one was collapsed.
Yeah.
Yes, this one was collapsed as a result of the rain, and we have this temporary one that we are using. So we man here 24/7.
Yeah.
So these people by 6 p.m. They will close, and another shift will come and take over. Right.
Okay.
Another shift will come and take over from 6 p.m.
Okay. And this is the tent that you normally use?
Yes, this is where the officers sit.
At night?
At night.
Okay.
Yes, this is where they sit at night to make sure that people do not come in and goods do not come in through these routes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what kind of goods do people smuggle in? But what happened to this tent?
It collapsed as a result of the rain.
Okay.
Yes, this one was presented by the military.
Okay.
It was given to us by the military, but as you can see, it is collapsed. Yes.
So you sleep there at night?
Yes. Yes.
Wow. What kind of goods do people try to smuggle?
Basically, people bring in rice.
Rice, okay.
And oil.
Okay.
Rice, oil. Sometimes you get frozen fish. Yeah, but basically it is rice and oil that people bring in the most. Yes, and
I'm told that is because it's cheaper.
Very,
in Ivory Coast.
Definitely.
So when you bring it to Ghana,
yes,
and they sell it, they make a lot of.
They
profits.
make a lot of money.
Okay.
Than buying it from Ghana.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So how difficult is it stopping them? How difficult is it?
Stopping them?
Yeah.
It is a Herculean task, okay. I must say, but we are trained for this task. And so, yes, in as much as we have these challenges, we try as much as possible to make do with the little resources that we have. It is difficult. You can even see the terrain that we are in.
Rough.
This is like a cocoa farm, muddy, with no lightning and all that. So imagine officers going through this, and you see there are several ways a smuggler can go through to escape, and so manning these things becomes very difficult. But like I said, that is what we are trained for, and so for that matter, we try as much as possible. We use different strategies to sometimes outwit them. We may not get them at the point of entry, which is this point, but we have other strategies that we put in place, like we have our mobile patrol team.
So that's a better view of
Yes.
River Tunnel in your shot. Like I mentioned, that is not the focus, but you can see how heavily polluted the River Tunnel is as a result of illegal mining activities. But you have been patrolling this river tunnel as well. What do you use in doing that? Canoes and then boats?
We do not have canoes or boat on this stretch.
You don't have a canoe or a boat on this stretch?
Yes, it is the Navy that has a boat.
Okay.
But even that, I mean, by the time you patrol to one point, you realize that the smugglers would have been at the other side. And so just one, there are about 60, 70 canoes that ply the stretch. So you can imagine it is very difficult to use just one boat to outwit about 60, 70 canoes on the stretch.
Do you have an idea what's happening to the man?
I don't have any idea.
Okay.
So like I was saying, we to augment the effort of our men here, we have our mobile patrol team. We have a task force that we've set up that they go around. They go around town to based on the intelligence that we gather. As a matter of fact, we have a lot of we gather a lot of intelligence in the work that we do, and so there are times that we chance upon them. There are times that we go directly to where some of these people, they bring these goods in bits, and they keep them. They have sort of a warehouse where they keep these goods. There are times that through intelligence we're able to mobilize our men and then get to them at their warehouses to intercept these goods. We also mount snap checks. We also mount snap checks on the way. And so we are able to intercept some of these goods that are able to come through without our men seeing. There's also the Samir barrier. The Samir barrier where our men there also do a lot of these checks, and they also embark on patrols to ensure that they are able to apprehend these smugglers.
So your men use these areas at night?
That is it. So you can imagine, this is daytime, and see the nature of the place. So imagine we came here in the night. Visibility becomes a problem. And the place is so vast to the extent that it is highly impossible for you to say you would apprehend somebody here. Because once you go this way, the person can go the other way, and they know the terrain even more than you do. But like I said, this is not the only strategy we put in place to ensure that we get these people. We have other strategies that, like I mentioned, but we may need more to ensure that we do our work to the full maximum.
And sometimes in trying to enforce the law, sometimes there are agitations. There are community agitations.
Definitely.
And I heard there was one recently. You want to tell us about?
Yes, there was one. We intercepted some bags of flour, and the community, the guys were agitated, and so they marched up to our barracks, wanting to break in to fight fight the officers there. In fact, there was a time that an officer was even pushed into the river.
Wow.
So you can imagine, I mean, somebody who that is the livelihood of the people here.
Yeah.
And so if you are trying to prevent them from having access to what they feed on, definitely you should expect some form of agitations and some form of resistance, definitely. Yeah. But we have a way of managing these situations so that it doesn't escalate.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So finally, what do you think can be done for the Customs Division of GRA to be able to do its work effectively? What do you think can be done?
Well, for me, I think that the first thing we can ask or we can propose is to ask for more men.
More men. Okay.
I think we need more men to have more visibility and to be able to give rest to some of our people. Because as you can see, because of the number of men we have, we work 7 days in a week. We do not have off days. Our men come 24/7.
We're there with the latest from the Luv border. Kumasi's edition of the Luv FM Habitat Fair has opened with exciting offers for prospective homeowners and others in construction. Exhibitors are offering patrons good quality and discounted products and services as well. Mona Lisa Frimpong joins us live from Kumasi City Mall, where the fair is underway.
Hello, Blessed, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, take it away.
Okay, so this is where all the fun and excitement is at the Kumasi City Mall, and we've had a number of exhibitors here as well as patrons who have also come here to seek solutions to their housing needs. And then for the exhibitors I spoke to, most of them say they are recording quite some number of sales. So I'm moving to the stand of DBS Industries, and they are a partner for this Habitat Fair. I've spotted Gifty. Gifty is customer service manager of DBS Industries. So Gifty, tell me all about DBS Industries. I know Papa Perfie. Let me in on what DBS Industries does.
Okay, my name is Gifty Amukuju, sales customer service manager for DBS Kumasi. DBS is into roofing sheets and then concrete products. For DBS, we believe in concrete products and the roofing works. So when you are done with when you acquire your land, what you need to come to DBS, then we have the concrete products. We have the concrete, we have the solid block, hollow blocks, pavement blocks, already mixed concrete. And when you are done with the superstructure, we recommend DBS light gauge steel material. That is when you are done with the process members, then we come to DBS ColorLink Plus. We are saying that we are giving 20 years warranty against fading. It's only roofing sheets that has self-cleansing property and also has a thermal cool that makes the room temperature very cool, thereby saving energy. So for DBS, we are saying that come to Kumasi City Mall from today to Sunday, which is 2nd of October, for the DBS Luv FM Habitat Fair. So Kumasi, Ashanti man, please come to the Kumasi City Mall.
Sure. So for DBS, you take the building from scratch to finish. And I also saw on one of your pull-ups where you had inscribed "Bosu Free."
Yes. For this year's Luv FM DBS Habitat Fair, we are giving our customers a whopping 10% discount on all roofing installations. We are saying that buy our ColorLink material, which is going for 20 years warranty, and our Super Aroma material, then you get a 10% installation cost for free of charge. That's why we are saying that Bosu Free. Just get your building materials and then you are done with the installation. And then for our trusses, we are giving 50% discount. We are saying that we should save our forest belt. So we want to encourage people to use the metal trusses for their wood for your crisis members so that we save our forest bed. So DBS Industries for this year Luv FM Habitat Fair is giving a whooping 10% on color link super and rainbow material and also 15% installation cost. That is ticketed for 15% discount. So that's what we have for Ashanti man and contractors, artisans. Please come to the Kumasi Timor to enjoy this package. It's only DBS that you can get this package.
DBS, just so you Papa see you around, Gifty. Thank you very much. So after you have contacted DBS Industries to roof your building for you, you have to also buy quality doors. And I'm at the stand of Weedy Locks, yes? So sir, can you tell me your name? And I know you sell doors. What makes your door different from other doors?
Our doors are different because we have some very, very good security features. Our keys are coded. We have 11 locking points, and each of the locking points, each of them is independent. It means that when there is a break-in and a person tampers with one, the other stays intact into the frame. So we have a unique way of installing the doors. We've not heard of any armed robbery attack or any break into or any forced entry of our doors. So our doors, we have 50 years guarantee on the doors. Yes.
Sure. So I normally hear this story about thieves pouring some sort of acid into people's buildings so as to weaken their doors and their buildings. So you mean your doors are quite resistant to that supposed acid, right?
Our doors are really resistant. You know, our doors are galvanized. When galvanized material, it means that it's an alloy. It's rust-free. You can buy our doors and use it at the beach where the rain is salty. Our doors are very compact. If not, even people have been buying other doors, which they call security doors. We've gone to the places and then we've changed it. We've been installing the doors all the whole country throughout and even outside. We also do after sales service. Just in case something happens and you want us, we'll come to your place and then have it done for you free of charge.
I like free of charge. I mean, that's quite good to hear. See you around, sir. Okay, so as you install your doors and you decorate your house, you will need home appliances, you will need towels, you will need lights, and that's where I walk to the stand of Africa Company Limited, and I'm excited to see Queen. I call Queen the Anwadehima. Queen can sell sun to you as gold. Nice meeting you, Queen. Africa, what do you have for us today?
Africa, today I'm going to introduce you to our ACs. The last time I spoke about the tiles, we spoke about lightening the chandeliers, we spoke about the spotlights, we spoke about the sanitaries. Today I'll take you to the ACs. We have air conditions, we have media, we have Daikin, we have Carrier, 3 different brands. So it depends on what she wants. Even with the ACs, we have inverters and then we have the normal ACs.
You know, these items don't come cheap. So any affordability packages for those of us who may not be able to pay up front?
Oh yes, we have 20% discount on all items.
Hey, Africa.
Africa is doing 20% discount. We are there for you.
Okay, I am interested in the sanitary wares and kitchen wares. Where are they? Kindly show me any of them.
Yes. Space-wise, we are not able to bring much, but we have our wash and basin, we have our WC, and then Africa is adding something different. Africa has a new child, our last baby. That is our family. Furniture. Yes. From sofas to your wardrobes, to your dining sets, to your wall mirrors. That is what our family is bringing into the picture now. And then we also do kitchen. We do kitchen. You know, women, I would say the kitchen is our bedroom. That is our favorite place. That is where we would want to be, sleep. So all women, talk to your husbands. Africa will give you excellent job at at a cheaper rate.
Okay, and I've realized a lot of people have walked over to this particular stand, so I'm sure you must have recorded quite a lot of sales. So how do you find day one of the Luv FM Habitat Fair?
Day one is fantastic. It's been super. Interacting with the people has been, it's marvelous. How they are being receptive, how they are responding to whatever we are telling them. It's been good.
Okay. Thank you very much, Queen. My Anwar Dehema. Well, Pleasant, if you can hear me. So this is the situation at the Kumasi City Mall. I've had lots of exhibitors tell me that they are recording quite a number of sales, and it's positive. So we're looking forward to day 2 and day 3 as well. Over to you, Blessed.
Melissa Frimpong there, and the fun is definitely on. You might want to check it out over the weekend in Kumasi. But that's all we have for you here on the Pulse on the JoyNews channel, and bless us again. Log on to myjoyonline.com. Updates there for you.